Hi, I'm Rashid Ahmed meeting you all again on Lankan Mentor. Today we'll be discussing about the first chapter of grade 11 ICT, programming. So before we move on to the lesson, I recommend you all to take your textbooks close to you so that you can look at them when I'm referring to the examples. If you don't have your textbook, you can download the chapter 1 from the link given in the description. Okay, right. Let's move to the lesson. Now, programming. What is programming? Programming means it is like a set of instructions, setting up commands, a list of commands to do a particular task. Now, in the next lesson, we'll be discussing about system development life cycle. That is building a software. So in building a software, programming means coding the instructions or commands for a software. You're giving the commands or instructions for a software to perform any particular function. Okay? Now, in other words, programming is the way that we do something. We are programmed. Now, take us humans. What is the programming that we have since childhood? Wake up, go to the bathroom, wash the face, brush teeth, and take a body wash, come out, dress ourselves, have breakfast, do something in the day, evening, dinner. We have a programming. That is programming. The way or some instructions that we use to do some particular task. That is programming. So before we go into what is computer programming, right, we have certain few procedures to look into, right? So among that, the first thing is we have to learn how to analyze any problem in life, because with a software, a computer software is also designed to solve any particular problem. The computer software is also designed to solve any particular problem that we have. So, to know about a problem, we have to analyze the problem. Analyzing. You have to analyze the problem. Now, how do you analyze a problem? First, you have to look into the context. What is going on here? What is going on here? Can you understand? You have to identify three things when analyzing a problem. What are the inputs? What are the processes that it requires? And what is the output you need? So this is how you analyze any particular problem, right? Now, first you have to identify the inputs of a system. So input means the materials or the things needed for the solution, the materials that you need to give to make the process easier or to do the process. Right? Process, what is process? Process means implementing the instructions step by step, right? You are doing something. And finally, you get the output or solution, right? Solution or the result from the processing. So this is just how the analyzing process is done, right? So now, in analyzing, let's say, let us analyze the process of making tea. Now that is an example in your book, right? Let's analyze the example of making tea. Now, what are the inputs for making tea? Milk tea, it is milk tea. Okay, let's see. The inputs would be, first you need water, tea powder, milk powder, sugar, right? So these are inputs. You need those things. Water, sugar, milk, powder, tea powder. Now these are your inputs or raw materials that you need to solve the problem. What is your problem? Making tea. Problem is making tea, milk tea. Making milk tea, right? Now you have found the inputs, right? Then what do you have to do? Do some step-by-step procedure. What is it? First, you have to boil the water, right? To pour the boiling water into a cup with tea powder, and then let it to rest for some time. Then you have milk powder and sugar, so you add it to that mixture and then stir well, then strain it to another cup and then serve. So there are many steps. After that, finally you have a cup of milk tea. Simple, right? Yes. This is how you analyze a problem. Analyzing a problem is easy, right? First, you have to understand what are the inputs that you need to solve the problem, and then you go with the process. You find out what are the steps you have to do to give the result, to take the output. Then you jot them down, and then finally, whatever you need, what is your output that you need. So this is how you analyze a problem, right? Now, after analyzing, sometimes you might have something called alternate solutions to a problem. Now, what are alternate solutions? Alternate means what are alternate solutions? Some other ways to make this problem work. Now, for the solution, you might have 2 or 3 ways, right? Let's say now making milk tea, we had milk powder, right? We had milk powder. We have another method also. How? We can use fresh milk. We can use fresh milk instead of milk powder. It would be rather better if we use fresh milk. So that is an alternate solution, right? So likewise, you can have 2 or more methods to solve one particular problem, right? So that is with alternate solutions, right? Next, you have solution space. There is something called solution space. Now, what's a solution space? We discussed alternate solutions, right? So the number of alternate solutions altogether, they make up the solution space, which means we have a lot of solutions together. That is the space, right? Now there is one solution. Now you have to decide which one to pick. Okay, this one is easy. I'll pick this. So that is the solution space. It is easy, right? Solution space. So let's say consider the example of finding perimeter of a rectangle. Let's say, right, finding the perimeter of a rectangle. Now you have 3 methods to find the perimeter of a rectangle. One method is you have to add all the length and width. Length plus width plus length plus width. Right? One method. Or else you can do like this. Length plus width. You're multiplying it by adding those two. Or else you could write like this. Length into 2 plus width into 2. You can add those two, right? It's like this. Length into 2 and width into 2. So you see, there are three methods to find the perimeter of a rectangle, right? So this is called the solution space. You have three solutions to one problem. Same answer, same result, but you have three different solutions. So you can pick one. Whatever is easy for you, you can pick that. You can choose that. So this is how finding the solution space means you go through all the possibilities of solutions. You look at all the possible solutions and then choose one from it. That is solution space, right? Okay. Now next we'll have to look into algorithms. Okay, now what are algorithms? An algorithm means it is a step-by-step procedure to solve any particular problem, right? Now earlier we analyzed a problem as input, process, output. Algorithm is also somewhat similar, but here in algorithm we write the inputs as one step, process in several steps, and output in another step. Everything comes as steps. So you see, take the example of making that tea, milk tea. So you are starting with step number 1. So the problem is making milk tea, right? The problem is making milk tea. And first step is gather water, comma, milk powder, comma, tea powder, and sugar. Number 2, boil the water. Number 3, put them into a cup, right? Number 4, mix them. Number 5, strain it to a cup. Number 6, finally serve the milk tea, right? You see, everything is given inside the algorithm, right? All the steps. So you see, algorithm means a step-by-step solution to solving any particular problem, right? To solve any problem. It is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem, right? That is the idea. Okay, right. Now next we'll have to look into control structures. Control structures, what is it? A control structure means it is the order in which the steps of a solution will be executed. The order in which those steps will be taken into action or done, right? The order in which the steps will be done. That is the control structure. Now we have three different control structures. Mainly we have sequence. Number 2, we have selection. Number 3, we have repetition, or else you could also call it iteration or iteration, right? Now there are a lot of differences between sequence, selection and repetition, right? We'll look into each and every one indeed. Okay, right. First we'll look into sequence. Now sequence means everything that happens in a particular order, right? One by one, one after the other, everything goes in a particular order. No turning here and there, right? It goes on in an order, right? No turning. So a very good example is, it's also given in your book. You know, for your school grades, from grade 1, what is the next grade? Grade 2, right? Or else class 1, class 2. See, you're advancing one by one, or sometimes you may get a additional promotion, but still you're going upwards, you're not coming downwards, right? See, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, that is a sequence, right? That is a sequence control structure, right? Now take another example. In human life, take our age from our childhood. When we were born, nothing. After 1 year, we call it, this baby is 1 year old, right? After 2 years, she is 2 years old. My son is 2 years old. My daughter is 2 years old. What is that? The age keeps on increasing, right? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years old, right? 20 years old. What is that? Keeps on increasing. No downgrading, right? From 5 years, you can't go back to 3 years. No time machine here. Okay? So, you see, this is sequence. Now take another example. Take your digestive system. Take your body, the digestive system. Even there is a sequence in there. What is the sequence? Now, when you are eating food, you are giving the input, right? You are eating, and then it is processed, and then it exits. There is no turning other way around. It can't come out from any other exits. There's only one exit, right? So, you see, just like that, even in human digestive system, there is a sequence, except for the bat. Do you know that? The bat doesn't have an exit, right? The entrance and exit is the same. Okay, that is a different thing. Right, so just like that. Sequence means anything that is done in a order, one by one, one after the other. Right, that is sequence, control structure. Number 2, we have to look into selection. Selection. Right. You have the answer in the word itself. Selecting, selection. See, there is a choice in selection control structure, which means you have the option of choosing one or the other. You have 2 or more options here to select, right, to choose, right? Now, take this example, like, let's say you're going to eat, right? You're going to eat and then have dessert. Now, eating, of course, you have no choice. You have to eat what your mom has made, or else no dessert, right? So you're eating. Now, while you're eating, and then when you're finished eating, right, it's the same procedure, right? Eating rice, and after eating rice is over, dessert will follow. Same eating process. So dessert is ice cream. So here, mom is offering you 2 types. Now you are a good boy or a good girl who has eaten all the rice, right? So your mom is happy. So she is offering you 2 ice creams, but to choose one. What do you like? Chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? So you can choose one, right? There is a selection over there, right? This is selection. You can choose one. So if you choose chocolate, then you will get chocolate. Then you can eat that chocolate and go to your room, right? Just like that. That is a selection process. Selection means you do something sequentially, right? You something in order, and then there are other routes. There are selections to go apart. In the middle, you will have options to choose. That is selection. So take another example. Even in your life, right? These youngsters, younger generation is now addicted to drugs and all. The drugs, alcohol, cigarette, worse. So, for each and every child, for each and every student, each and every youngster, there is a choice you can make. What is the choice you can make? You can choose whether or not to use the drugs. If you are using drugs, if you are consuming drugs, your life is done. It's just over. Your life is over, right? So you get diseases and then your body is spoiled. But if you choose not to use those drugs, if you choose to keep away, then you can live a healthy life, a strong and healthy life. So you have an option there, right? So just like that, in life we have choices. This is selection. We have selections, options. Okay, now take this process now. When you are going to town, when you are going to the town from home, right? Let's say there is a main road to go to the town by vehicles, right? By vehicle. But if you choose to walk to the town, there are shortcuts, small pathways. So there is a selection again. If you choose vehicles, you have to go the long way. If you choose walking, you can go the easy way. Selection. So selection means options. You have many routes to go based on a condition. You have to select based on your need. Okay, right. That is selection. And third is repetition or iteration. Now, repetition means whatever the steps that we are doing, right? We do it in a repeated fashion. What is repeated fashion? Now, you may do certain steps in a procedure, right? One after the other. After that, there will come a process that is being repeated more than once. You keep on repeating certain steps until a particular condition is satisfied. Now, take the world. Now it's windy over here. I think it's going to rain. So take the water cycle. Take the water cycle. You see, it rains and then the water settles. In the mountains, it comes to the sea. Then it gets evaporated into these clouds, and then the clouds move. When the clouds become heavy, they rain again. So there is a cycle there. That is a repetition, right? Step by step, but those steps are repeating, right? Again, take your life cycle, your life pattern. Now, as I told you earlier, early in the morning you are waking up, brushing your teeth, washing your face, eating, sleeping, repeat, right? That's what we are doing, right? So, you see, this cycle, wake up, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake up, eat, sleep, repeat. Sleeping also, right? So, this process is also a repetition. Now, you'll understand more when I say this. This example, let's say you're hungry, right? You're hungry and you're going to eat, right? So you have buns. Around 8 buns are there for you to eat. So you just sit in the table, in the dining table or whatever, and you just grab a bun, you eat the bun, and then you settle, okay, are you still hungry? That is the condition there. What is the condition? Hunger. If hunger is satisfied, you will stop eating. You eat one bun, hunger satisfied? No. Another bun, take another bun, eat it. Satisfied? No. Pick another one. Third bun, huh? Eating the third bun. Satisfied? No. Get another bun. Eat it. Fourth bun, huh? Eating. Satisfied? Slightly, but no. Get another bun. Eat it. Finished. Right? So 5 buns made your hunger go away. So you see, you repeated 5 times. What did you repeat? Eating a bun. Right? Grabbing, eating. Grabbing, eating. Those steps were repeated until your hunger was satisfied. Right? So just like that, some steps we would be repeating again and again, that is repetition. So these are the control structures. Sequence, selection and repetition, right? These are the three control structures, right? So I hope you have an idea of what these control structures are, what an algorithm is, how to analyze a problem. So the next thing we have to look into is representing the algorithms. So there are two methods of representing algorithms. We will look into that in our next video, right? Okay, so for now, this video is concluded. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, just let me know that I can help you. And please support this channel by sharing and subscribing. Thank you.